we get to take literally everybody that is 22 and older. So let's just take a quick look and see just how many. I mean, literally everybody but like 4 people. Yeah, that we get to at least keep. And even then, I'm probably gonna send Junior out on excursion because he's really not that good. He does have 13 finishing though, so that is pretty great. His determination is pretty good as well at 18. But yeah, I mean that's just he's got good pace too. It's 6'4" too. Wow. Never mind. He might he might stay here. A 6'4" striker that has pretty good heading. Wish his jumping reach was a little better, but he's kind of a savage. Plus, yeah, we only have like on his birthday isn't it? Yeah, so we got to deal with that too with birthdays. So another thing about this save as well that I didn't get to mention is basically if you're 21 but your birthday falls during the season, once your birthday hits and you're 22, I can't use it anymore. So birthdays play into a bit of a factor here. So he's gonna actually turn 21 in a couple of weeks, it looks like. So this will probably be like his last year we'll be able to really use him, which is unfortunate. So we really have to get the best out of him. And, we're going to try to at least get as much money as we can out of all these guys, obviously. This is going to be a complete overhaul. Some of them are already wanted somewhere, so that's going to help us out a little bit, which is nice to see. I know Fabian here is wanting to... Yeah, I know. I saw the MLS were wanting him. He's, 34, so he's perfect age for the MLS. But yeah, we'll at least... Fabian Ryder here, though, is probably going to be our best as far as guy that we have that's going to still be on the roster. He doesn't turn 21 until February, so that's nice. We'll be able to have him for at least one season and probably on almost close to another full season as well. Passing is really good. I do love me an advanced playmaker, but really my favorite thing about having a midfielder, though, is that deep line playmaker. And I know he's got the passing for it for sure to work and the vision. And, as far as having a young team, we'll take a look at, as far as once we get to the actual overhaul of the roster, and we'll take a look at the tactics and what we're trying to do. But the main idea is, obviously with a young team, we should have a very high-paced team, a team that's going to work hard, and a team that is able to have high stamina. So that's probably going to mean we're going to run something like a gegenpress, or just a straight-up direct counterattack where we're using all of our speed to go down the pitch once we get that stop, and we're going straight up the pitch as fast as we possibly can. It's going to be pretty simple, but that's kind of what we need to do. It's a young team. There's not going to be a lot of guys that have a lot of, as far as knowledge and experience with a lot of the things we're trying to do. As far as tactically, we want to make it as simple as possible for them to understand it, to soak it up, and to be able to go full steam ahead and make everything work out for us. Because really, we get a bit of a break, though, because even though Young Boys traditionally are a team that you can see potentially make it into a Champions League, they did not qualify, of course, for the Champions League this year because they finished third, I want to say. If memory serves me correct here. Let's see if we can just take a look and see if it'll load it up here. I don't know why it's taking forever. There we go. We'll just go to the Young Boys here. So they didn't win it last year, and so this skin we're using the material skin for this save because for some reason when I loaded up the kits here, we don't have a third one though. We only have a home and away kit. But when I loaded them up, for some reason in the other skins that I like to use and prefer, they were not loading up for some reason. I tried everything as far as editing it, and it still wouldn't work. So it's like, all right, we'll just use this skin. It's a nice little skin, though. It's really fun. But for the Young Boys, as far as we are projected to be the number one team, we'll see how that goes as far as in the future. But the big thing with as far as our future, we want to make sure our youth facilities are as high as they can be. That's our probably number one priority as far as making that because obviously we need some great fucking regens. That's going to be very, very important for this save if we're going to make it deep into the Champions League, because we're going to take on the best of the best in Europe, and we need the best of the best wonder kids. And really the big thing with me, and I kind of talked about this during the Continent King save as well, and if you didn't see that, I'll just kind of repeat it here, but if you already saw that, bless you, we can just keep on going forward. But my thing with FM is I don't like looking up like the list of like, oh, here's the top 100 kids and just kind of taking every, like, you could do that with this save and it'd be like no problem, but that's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's cheating, but it's just like taking the fun out of like the game and like learning new players and figuring out new players and scouting and actually like trying to play the game instead of just doing whatever you want to do. And you'll see a lot of guys I'm going to bring in that you might have seen in other saves, but really a lot of them are just from playing FM throughout the years and just being like, this guy's fun to use or this guy's fun to use. I know there's somebody on my roster already. He's in the under 21s team that I have used in the past. I've used him last year in FM, and that's Miguel Chaiwa. This was probably my favorite signing in my Continent King save last year because when I signed him, he didn't have a picture. So I was like, oh, this is, because he's from Zimbabwe, and I was scouting him because I was the international coach in both Nigeria and the Ivory Coast. So I was just kind of looking to see, because I was potentially eyeing a move to South Africa for an actual full-time position job at one of like either Cape Town or somewhere, around just any kind of place around there. But in South Africa for their little, I think that's the Premier League, the Southern, it's like a DFSTV Premier League, something like that. Off the top of my head, I'm blanking, but I saw him, I was like, man, this guy is phenomenal. And because this was a couple of years in the save, he was like 20, 21. This is like a couple of years into FM22. Signed him, get him, and we're playing with him, and he's been fantastic, for me. And then I re-download, I don't even re-download, rather, I downloaded updated the picture pack, and I just see him with a Young Boys shirt. It's like, oh my god, he's actually going to be a problem in real life. And obviously, it's too early to tell. But in FM22, his stats were, obviously, it's kind of, you can't really compare, like, stats like that, because obviously that was, like, years into the save. But his first touch was not this good right off the rip, so that's crazy. Pace is pretty good. What I liked about him, specifically why I brought him to South Korea for my team in Asan, was his passing, his tackling, and all that is pretty solid. Because I like having, like, ball-playing defenders. But I did not, as far as last year, he was not even allowed to be, like, a DM. So that's fun. He was just basically a central defender. So that's nice. That's going to be nice to see. That's, gives us some options there as far as in the future with a defensive midfielder. If that's, potentially what we're going to do. I think for our tactics, I do have, as far as just a little lineup here, just a baseline. So we have two base lineups. One's the gig and press one, which is going to be a 4-3-3. Pretty simple stuff. Got the deep lying playmaker in the back. We're going to have probably a box-to-box, and I don't think we're going to have... think we're going to go with a either central midfielder or another box-to-box. Maybe even a ball-winning midfielder, depending on what happens. So just, and then, wing backs. Sometimes I love going with fullbacks, though, but wing backs are probably for the best here with this gig and press. And, then the two inside forwards with a pressing forward, which... sometimes I just will go with a poacher or a target forward or advanced forward in some cases. But since we are going to be trying to actually run a gig and press, we'll probably just stick with the pressing forward. But we also have this little 3-4-3, little counterattack. It's a little wonky looking at it, obviously, with something like this. We want to have a sweeper keeper, though. I know that much. So we'll change that. But you have a back three with two wide midfielders, central midfielder, and probably either a box-to-box or another central midfielder, or even a deep-lying playmaker there in the middle, and then two deep-lying forwards with an advanced forward. We might even go three advanced, or like two poachers, or probably not a press, but we'll definitely look to like push down as fast as we can. I haven't really changed any of these yet, though, because I want to wait and see just kind of how the squad looks. But yeah, speaking of that, let's see how we did as far as turning all this into what will be our Young Boys team for episode 2. And here is the new squad. Unfortunately, as you see here, we were not able to get rid of everybody. A lot of the higher priced guys, I think it's just because the AI right now, they're very tentative about putting a lot of money into transfers right now. So really our top, I would say like 5 or 6 guys. I did terminate this loan, though, for Kevin, so he should be gone relatively soon. But really, our main guy is Fabian Ryder, for sure. He's our best player, by far. But we have done, I would say, pretty well for the transfer market, for not being able to have the money that I thought we would. That was the one thing I was nervous about with this first transfer window, which is not even a transfer window. It's just, really before the season really officially starts. And, usually once you fully get into a new save, the AI is not really trying to go crazy with a lot of transfers. If it's somebody that's like over like 5 million, like you're pretty much fucked. But we've done pretty well, I feel like, as far as we have added a lot of depth. Really, there's one transfer that I wish we didn't do, mainly because of the price for it. But other than that, I am very, very happy with this team. The big signing going into the season is this man right here, Noah Mbamba. This absolute unit of a man, all of the physical skills, and he's still getting better. 17 years old. Look at that transfer value. 9 to 14 million. Just right now, we signed him. Now, this is a record for our club, but it was 4.5 million, I want to say. Let me double check. 6.5, never mind. That's with the additional add-ons. So, it's a lot of money. But, let's go back to Noah Mbamba here, as if we could get him for 12, once he hits 22, that's perfect. Like, that's fantastic. We doubled our value, and I think he's going to be better and better. He's probably going to be a ball-playing defender, rather, but we could have him as a DM as well. Just feel like him as a ball-playing defender works so well. He's great at passing. He's great at everything, honestly. The only thing he's not good at is finishing, and that's totally fine. I would love him to be better at throw-ins, actually, but since he's in the middle and not as, like, on the wing, it really doesn't matter. Positioning's getting better. The vision's getting better. So long as all those things are working mentally, as far as going in the right direction, which they should be, him being so young, should work out very, very well. This is huge, though. I mean, this is a huge signing for us. I obviously figured that we'd get rid of a lot of our top talents, so we'd have a lot more money to spend, but this being our biggest signing of the transfer window, as I'm going to call it, it's our first window, but really it's not even a window, but our first signing before the season started, I'm actually really happy with this one. I feel like it's a positive. I feel like he's perfect for what we want to do. He's super young, and he's super athletic as far as physically wise. He's got everything. He's got strength, he's got pace, stamina, the jumping reach, the fitness, the balance. Everything is there, and he's getting better and better. If his passing can get even better, his tackling gets even better, his technique gets even better, he's going to be a real problem. The flair is there, too. It's just hilarious. The heading's good. It's really impressive to see what he can do. He could eventually, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gets to the point where we put him as an actual midfielder and just kind of see what he can do. Because, really, if he can get better passing-wise, he could definitely be a lot more important and more valuable up here as a midfielder instead of being as a defensive center back. But love it. Absolutely love that signing. As far as we got a loan here for Lund Jensen. Unfortunately, it took so long to get him in here that we haven't even seen him on the same pitch as everybody else. Great jumping reach, great bravery. He's 19, so the plan is after the loan expires, try to get him for a year or two and then flip him. If that's not the case, it's totally fine, but I think with him and Bamba back there, that's going to be massive. They both are kind of the same skill level, about the same height. They're really going to be, I think, a hell of a pair. If it all goes well. It should go well, though. I'm super excited to see how they go about it. Of course, the technical skills are not that great for Lund Jensen either, but that's fine. Again, we don't really need that. He's a defensive center back for a reason. And then, as far as Alou here, he's Australian, which is fun, but he's a nice pressing forward. Him being 21, he just turned 21, so at least we'll have him for the full season. But the stats, I mean, they're not tremendous. It's pretty good pace. It's nice, and the aggressiveness there, and he's a hard worker. So as a pressing forward, I think that's going to work just fine. The finishing I wish would be a little bit better. I wish the first touch was better, but I do like that the heading's a nice 13 there. As far as 5'9", though, is probably not going to win a whole lot of headers, but if he's in front of the net and is able to tap it in, hopefully will go in, and his off ball is really good. The mental stuff's nice. For having guys so young, having great mental skills, because you can't, determination and flair would be better for him as a forward, but he's a pressing forward. He's not looking to he's not Lionel Messi out there, he's not trying to dribble away from everybody and just cross everybody up. He's just looking to press and be somebody that's just a fucking nuisance out there. That's what we're trying to do with him out there. But what I do like is I wish he was a little bit more. He's very strong on his right foot, but I wish that weak foot was a little better. We're going to hopefully train that and get that to where it's at least not so weak throughout the year. Now, I will say, we do have one signing that I kind of regret. And it's Fabio Andrea Ruger, as I signed him last year in FM22 when I was in Korea. When I was in South Korea, and listen, a 5'7" center back is never a good idea. But his positioning and tackling is so awesome, and he can mark people well. He's got good pace. He does really well for what we are trying to do as far as pushing the ball up the pitch as quick as possible. I think he's going to work out just great with that. I wish his passing was a little bit better, but like the tackling's there, the positioning's there. He might give up a lot as far as headers and whatnot, but if he does come on the pitch, which he'll probably honestly be a substitute, which is why I hate that we got him for what we got him at. So we signed him for about $1 million. $2 million, actually, if you add on the add-ons as well. So $2 million of, I don't know why I keep on not just going back to this, but for $2 million, it's a bit much, because I don't think we're going to get that value back. Just right now, his cap is at 3.8, and that's just guessing, really. Obviously, it's not like exact science. We might be able to get a little bit more for him if he does develop into what we potentially think he will. We'll see, though. Obviously, the thing, though, with Fabio here, being 17, again, you have that advantage of having guys for a little bit longer, so that's why I don't mind spending some money up front for young 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, even a 15-year-old. If he becomes, if he has really great potential out of the gate, you might as well, because you're investing long-term, and I think we could be able to flip it a lot easier than if we get somebody in who's 20, 21, and we get him for that year or two, and it doesn't work out, and it's like, well, we just lost on an investment. We did have an injury that is going to hurt us a little bit, and that being Jackson Conway, a guy we brought in from the MLS, which is just hilarious because his stats are super good. He doesn't really play a whole lot for the actual Atlanta United MLS team. He kind of plays on the reserves a lot more. See there, 31 appearances, 12 goals rather. But his so far in 2021 to 2022, so obviously the MLS, it's only through the summer, so it's 2 seasons. 19 appearances, 3 goals. But that heading's great, the finishing, the first touch, the long shots is nice, the passing's great. What I love about him, though, is the penalty taking. 14 penalty taking is phenomenal to have. He's pretty tall. He's pretty strong, too, at 6'3". He's aggressive, too. He can do a lot of things that we love to do. He's a hard worker. He's got great teamwork, pretty good vision. And there's a lot of things that I love about him. The only thing that I would say is a negative is maybe the dribbling. Other than that, it's at 10 now, so it's not even that bad. The flair could maybe be a little bit higher. The stamina could be a little bit higher, but it's not that big of a deal. Honestly, balance would probably be, the one thing that I would love to up if we can. But he is out for, I want to say it's 5 weeks, so about a month and a half, maybe, potentially, because it's like 5 to 6. Which sucks, but that's just kind of the way she goes. There is, and actually it's 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, so yeah, it's a little bit better. He's already been out for a week anyway, so yeah, then hopefully he comes back. It was a thigh strain, so just kind of sucked to see that happening at a friendly. You hate to see that, but yeah, as far as there's a lot more signings here, obviously we want to have as much depth as we can with this, because if we have somebody that goes down with an injury, we also have obviously a C team, which can only have 18 and under talent. We have an under 21 squad and an under 18 squad. So obviously, with all that being said, if someone's not in the starting lineup, they can just play on those teams and, just kind of switch them back and forth. I'll also have Dario Marzino, who also needs to be sold. So, yeah, but we're at 8, I think, that are needing to be sold, which is not great. Would love that to be a little bit lower, like less than 5. But it just is what it is. No one wants to get them. Like, we've been dropping down pricing, too. Honestly, some of these guys are going to go for a good deal, I think, by the end of this, because just no one's wanting to pay the money that they're worth. It's just unfortunate. But yeah, so for episode 1, that will do it. We are super excited to see how everything plays out. This is what we're going to look like tactically for our first game. I think we're going to go with a 4-3-3. I did find out during the friendlies, though, that we were not ready for a 3-4-3. Was not ready. We're going to go with a diamond back here with a defensive midfielder. Just feel like this makes a lot more sense. Even though only having 2 center backs might be a bit risky, I think we still should be in a pretty good spot. And we'll probably have Mbama. You see there, we're kind of struggling right now on the right side with wing backs. As Jesse here, he is all of 5 foot tall. An absolute short king. Insane, but he's got good corners. Pretty good tackling, too, which is nice. But wish the crossing was a little bit better, but that's kind of why we kind of have him out there sometimes for the corner. But really the big thing I think that we're going to need to do is get some more help from Fabian Ryder here. He's our superb guy. He's our only guy that we have that's like really, really good. We have some, our center backs are pretty solid, but everybody else up front, they're still young, they're still learning. We got 4 guys on loan in the starting lineup, which I don't love, but really with, this is probably my favorite loan here with Ruin here. He's 21, so once January rolls around, he'll be 22, so that'll be a firm, but he's got 16 finishing. That is quite good, with a great technique, great work rate. Natural fitness is there, the acceleration, the agility, the bounce is there. He's going to be great on the counter. I really hope, as far as that goes. He should be really good on the counter. If we have a nice pass through the middle, nice through ball, he should be able to rack up a lot of goals for us. Right now we got him as a deep lying forward in this 4-3-3. Don't know if we'll go with that, or if we'll have like all advanced forwards. I don't want to use what I used in FM22. I want to use some tactics I didn't do in that one as far as for this series, because we're kind of rebuilding. It's kind of weird to say that about this Young Boys team, because obviously it's a team that's done very well for themselves in Switzerland, but we are completely blowing up the roster. And this first year, it's a bit of a learning curve. You know, the tactical familiarity, is it's getting there. We're competent in some regions. Really, I want that press to be higher. I want the position roles and duties to be higher. The marking could be nice, but it's getting there. Not bad at all going into the first game. So episode 2, it's against Lugano. It is a Swiss Super League matchup. Now, we will go into this match. That will be the second episode. And in the third episode, we will go through here as far as... We'll probably run the Europa Conference League as far as the qualifying round, the 2 legs, as episode 3. And then the next time you'll probably see us will be for this... maybe not this cup, because I think we'll probably kick the shit out of them. It's either going to be Basel or the Grasshoppers, because the Grasshoppers, what a fun name. But because Basel's probably our toughest challenge, for sure. So that it might be a bit before we see you guys again. I will say this: we did lose our two out of our 3 friendlies. So what happened here was we were winning, and I did a mass sub, and that cost us the win. We were not at full strength here. I completely underestimated this team in Liga Warszawa, as they are one of the best teams in Poland, and completely was just like, it's a friendly, maybe we can just try shit out and have fun with it. Should not have done that. We should have actually tried to win. that was on me. That was all on me. That was completely my bad. We had a draw there in that one as well, so 1-2-1 rather. Not great going into the regular season now. Hopefully we beat Logano. Our squad's definitely a lot better. We're at full strength as far as our squad is compared to what we were in all those friendlies with the likes of Lungenson joining us. And hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing terrible happens. We are playing Mbamba as like a deep line playmaker back here, and I think that's really going to work to his advantage really, really well. We're going to have to probably make some subs. Jean Baptiste's probably going to have to come off as a sub. A couple of things we'll probably have to change as far as the lineup goes, but plus we haven't even assigned a jersey number to Jean Baptiste. But he's not ready to go, though, for sure. Miguel Chaiwal, hopefully we can have him come in as a sub. Trying to think what else we got here. I think that's it. I think that'll do it for episode 1. Thank you all for watching. It's hopefully these young boys can get a big win to start off the season. Fingers crossed nobody gets hurt, because we're struggling to really find our identity, and we really need to have guys at full speed for at least the first 5 or so games. 5 to 10 games. It'd be nice to not have a major injury. But we'll see. We're in the hands of the FM gods on that one. Hopefully we get a win to start off the year. I'm really not sure what the odds are for that game. Even then, it's probably going to be fucked because they still expect us to play like our above 22-year-old players, and obviously we will not be doing that. They would not be a part of the lineup. They're not registered for the game or anything, so we are at the disposal 21 and under. And let's hope because this might be a long-term project, this might be a short-term project. That's kind of the thing with this series. It's very much up in the air. It depends on how well we do. I think really it's going to start, I would say the official start to the save is really after this first year, because we should be able to make a lot with that $6 million transfer budget. Should be able to make a lot. And probably even more so once we finally get rid of the guys we have on our roster that is over 22. So once we get to that, our payroll's tremendous, though. We're only spending about a little under 12 million, which is not bad at all. We started off the save, I'm sure you saw it there in the bottom right here. I think we were paying like 18, 19 million on payroll, so I've already cut that down to about 5 or 6 million. We're making money, I will say that. We are doing very well money-wise this season already, and just this month alone, made 5 million from the, 3 million alone from the season tickets, and then the selling of players got an extra million, so doing pretty well as far as from that perspective. I guess in case somebody wants to actually see how the transfer window went, we've spent 22, we've transferred out 21. Now, it is a bit fucked up because everything that's happened on June 13th, we did not do. That happened before we joined the club. So, really, you could take off that money as well. And the same thing, here as well. So you can take off 4 million there and, 6 million here. So, it's a little... We probably spent more than we have came out, but there's still more guys to be sold. So that's nice, yeah, because we definitely have sold. So there's 14 million right here. So yeah, we definitely have been really, really bad. We haven't even sold really anybody for $1 million. We've just been loaning out mostly because nobody was wanting to buy anybody. So we're just kind of loaning it out. It's not a great system, but it's at least has made us some bit of money. Hopefully, we make even more once the January window opens up, and we'll be able to double our profits, really, is the big thing I'm hoping for. That is the plan. Thank you all, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.